Tropical storm Debby churning above warm water just off the East Coast, set to make landfall for a second time now within hours. This time it will be in South Carolina. The storm is slamming parts of Georgia, South Carolina, with heavy rain bringing life-threatening storm conditions and dangerous flooding. At least 6 deaths now are linked to this storm, and that includes 2 children after Debby made landfall as a Category 1 in Florida. So far, the storm has dumped more than a foot of rain near Charleston. It's causing widespread damage in some areas. Roads are impassable. President Biden already approving an emergency disaster declaration for North Carolina. And what you just saw there a moment ago was also tornado damage. So forecasters are looking at rain totals to reach 15 inches. ABC News' Victor Akendo is joining me now from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So look, Victor, how is the storm impacting the coast where you're at now? And look, clearly the streets and buildings as well.
Kana, within just the last few minutes, conditions really deteriorated here in Myrtle Beach. The rain just started picking up. You can probably hear it. The winds are getting stronger and stronger, too. We are right along Ocean Boulevard here in Myrtle Beach, and this time of year, this would normally be a very busy stretch of road here, as you can see, except for a few cars and maybe a couple people down there. It's pretty much a ghost town out here. A lot of people taking those precautions, stores and businesses closing up shop. But as for the wind, let's just go ahead and take a peek up at these palm trees. They're getting whipped around right now, and we're just about a block away from the beach. Further out, we know that Debby is just getting stronger as we are set for a second landfall in just a matter of hours. Kana?
It's hard to imagine what all those folks are going to be setting up for in the next few hours. Stay safe out there, Victor. Thank you for being with us. Also, our ABC News meteorologist, Samara Theodore, is joining us now from Charleston, South Carolina as well. So, Samara, look, Debby set to creep back on shore there over South Carolina at some point. What is the latest on the conditions where you're at, and how are you tracking this?
Hey, Kana, yeah, so right now we're starting to see the rainfall become a bit more steady. Earlier we had these deep lulls where we would drive for extended periods of time, but the rain is becoming a bit more steady. And if you look over my shoulder here, this is kind of what you're seeing all throughout downtown. It's quiet. We have a few people walking about, but for the most part, it looks like they've boarded up a lot of the businesses. We've got sandbags down, tarp up on the door. So these businesses for the past few days have been preparing for Debby, and now they're really standing in preparation for this second landfall.
And so, Samara, as you're watching this, where are you looking at next to be hit the hardest?
All right, so let's talk about that. We're going to get into the track of Debby now. We're certainly going to see rainfall here in Charleston, really hitting places like Myrtle Beach, up towards Wilmington, into the state of North Carolina, and right along the coastline. So timing this out, this is anticipated to make its second landfall tonight around midnight. And then what happens is we see this storm system drive further into Virginia, places like Roanoke, where they're experiencing a drought, but to see copious amounts of rain in this little amount of time could really lead to significant flash flooding, the higher elevation only exacerbating that situation. Then by 7 a.m. on Friday, this becomes an issue for morning commuters throughout much of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh State College, down to the DMV, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., flash flooding certainly possible. And then by Friday evening, the story is for the Northeast, particularly New England. So while we will see rain in parts of New Jersey, Philadelphia, and D.C., we'll see a hefty amount falling in New England. And I want you to look at this map carefully. This is one of the biggest updates we've had in the last couple of hours. They've actually expanded the highest risk for flash flooding into southern Virginia, including Roanoke. This is extremely rare. We don't often see this. So it's important to note, yeah, this is a coastal storm right now, but look how deep it's digging further inland. And finally, the totals. So I know you've been seeing the numbers like 20, 25 inches. That's in total. This is what we could pick up by Friday, an additional 6 to 10 inches in parts of North Carolina, about 4 to 6 where I'm standing right now, and just north of me in Myrtle Beach. Kana?
All right, Samara Theodore, our thanks to you as always.